So hello and welcome to 1990. My name is Amanda O'Shea from the Serendipity Experience, and I have Mr. Christen from Switzerland with me on today's little interview chat conversation. This is the 1990 series, 90 powerful little conversations with 90 fabulous people over 90 days. And you made it, Kai.
Yes.
The top 90.
I feel very lucky.
You are very lucky, you
Yeah.
are. And I'm very lucky to know you, because you always bring a little ray of sunshine into my life.
Wow.
And I see you and I keep a little eye on what you're up to. And it was a couple of years that we first met when I remember having a phone call with you in Vietnam. You were traveling around, you were on the back of a bike somewhere, or you were on a bike somewhere, and you'd seen an ad for our It Is What It Is retreat.
Yeah.
And then you joined us down there for 7 days, 7 glorious days in the Spanish mountain, side of a mountain there, hidden paradise. And it was really cool, huh? We had a really cool time.
It was one of the best retreats I've ever done. Definitely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, what a huge compliment. Yeah.
Yes.
Have you done any others? No, it was fantastic. Yeah, it was. So that was when we last hung out, and then I've seen you at the Three Principles conferences, and I've seen you on a few bits and bobs, and you came to Javier actually afterwards. You came, didn't you? You came down.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember having dinner in the old town. And so isn't it amazing? That's only like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think I had just had the fire at my house.
Ah, yeah, right. It was, I think, literally a couple of days.
Yeah.
I was so impressed about how relaxed you were about it.
Right.
I really found that inspiring. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I remember that. Just the fire had happened, and then we were like a few days later on retreat, and so it was a funny old time for me, really. It was quite a big, we had, I don't know how many of us down there.
Yeah.
18 or 20 people or something, or something like that. And we were 26 people this year down there.
Wow. Yeah, it's really growing. Fun. That's nice.
Yeah, but it was so it was great to connect with you, and it's wonderful to know there are people like you in this sort of, if you call it the Three Principles community, or whatever you want to call it, the Inside Out revolution. Us guys who are out there coaching and doing what we do and sharing our own messages with the world. But we've got a little title on to tonight's or today's little chat, which is Double Vision Between Relaxation and Anxiety.
It's very dramatic.
It is. It's quite a long title.
I thought so. It's like a newspaper article.
Yeah. Double vision.
Yes.
Between relaxation and anxiety.
I came up with that actually within 10 seconds. Like you wrote me that, and I was like, so what do I want to talk about? And I thought, like, that really, back then and still, I feel it really hits the spot for where I feel I am.
Tell us more. Tell us more. We're intrigued.
So it's actually not my concept. I stole it from Chip Chipman. During a coaching conversation with him. I think we started talking about double vision, and it's the times when you see it and at the same time you're not seeing it. It's like that when you're intellectually understanding the understanding, and I think that really helped me to, like, there is this moments where I feel just balanced and I don't think about it, and sometimes I think about it and think like, oh, I should, like, I know this is just thought, but I don't know. It's like this delicate in between space, and I think that just came up for me. It's a place where I see myself a lot, and it's like almost like a little trap where you think about the understanding almost a little bit too much.
Sure.
And that's something actually lately I haven't consumed any Three Principle material, and I'm just kind of also stopped trying desperately to only teach clean 3P, which was also something I had, where I was like, no, this is not exactly how Sid told it, so I cannot do it like that. And now it feels better if I do it kind of my way. Yeah, I don't, yeah.
And isn't it funny that that's all you were ever probably encouraged to do?
Yeah, but I heard something, my mind heard something different, right? My mind heard another concept, another set of rules that I have to go by in order to be happy. You know, only if I will do the principles, then I will be happy, which is a funny little thing.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? What is said and what is heard.
Yeah.
And we'll always hear what we want to hear, and we'll always twist it to suit us at the moment. So, you know, and that's, I suppose that really kind of is part of separate realities, where somebody can say something and 4 people in the room or 10 people in the room all hear something different anyway. So, you know, it's yeah, it is what it is, and it is what it isn't.
That's a good one, yeah.
And none of it means diddly dot.
Yeah.
You know. So this between relaxation and anxiety, what's all that about?
Well, I think it's almost my daily spectrum. It's like I feel, especially the last couple of weeks, for me personally, my just baseline happiness is just awesome. It's really good. It's higher than it ever has been before, and that's so nice, without changing any behavior. Yeah. And that's cool. And then I get anxious every day, like about small things or quote unquote big things, whatever that means. And it's just this dance almost, like where I had this romantic, or maybe the romantic is the wrong word, but this idea of how it should feel like. And I was like, okay, you should just be blissed out. You haven't gotten the principles if you're not blissed out all the time. And, you know, it's like, no, I should be enlightened by now. And so,
the enlightened Swiss man.
Yeah. Wait, it doesn't work. Anyway,
you're waiting for the light to kind of.
Yeah, it's the evening light, but it's already gone too far. The joke didn't work. Anyway, but that's what it is. It's like I lost my train of thought a little bit, but that's my daily dance kind of, is between those levels of consciousness where I feel I'm like I am thought, I am the problem, and it's out there, and I really have to do something about it now, and I get angry or something like that. And at the same time, those moments get a little bit shorter, which is nice. And not so strong anymore. I actually couldn't tell you the last time I was deeply shattered by something in the last. Also, I'm very lucky, like there's nothing bad, but in the past I was completely different, you know, like small things like could take me out for days. I was like,
yeah.
No, actually I remember this one guy really pissed me off, if I'm completely honest, but but apart from that, like on the bigger picture, it's really nice. And I always like, I want to have the extreme, right? I want to have like everything needs to be perfect, but what I feel is like on the scale, like on this spectrum, it's just moving into a nice direction without me doing anything.
Right.
And that's really cool. That's really nice.
Yeah. So you're, you know, that's all of us, right? I love that, on the spectrum, every day, every moment. We never know what's coming around the corner. We don't know how we're going to feel in 90 seconds, let alone, let alone tomorrow. It's like, and, you know, that sort of, you see it, you don't see it, you're in it, you're not, the peekaboo thing, you know, now you see me, now you don't, now you see me, now you don't. It's kind of like, you know, it's always going on, isn't it? And nobody, I don't think there's anybody has ever said, well, the idea is you're meant to be blissfully happy for 95% of the time, and you can have 5% of sadness. And like, no one, like, I think what I heard, you know, and when people were pointing me in the direction of, say, the three principle understanding, is actually that's not the answer. You know, that the answer is that you're all right with wherever you're at, and you're all right with wherever anybody else is at.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah, and thinking about it now, actually, it's like I talk less and less about the principles. Like there was a time when I got newly in connection, like just connected with people and all that stuff. I just like I explained it many times to especially people that are close to me. You know, that never works. You know, so
how,
like trying to talk my
how,
mom into the principles. You know,
how can you
like
look after your family?
yeah, you should really start with somebody really close to you.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful because these like I remember back then with my girlfriend at the time, like we had this conversation and she was just like, in my point of view, so stubborn, you know. And it's just like, and then I realized you don't have to talk anybody into anything, and that's the nice thing. Like I'm not doing so many like pure 3P trainings and coachings, but it's like kind of going, people are curious because they're like, why is this dude relaxed? Like he should be nervous right now, he's talking in front of people, or like you can you know, they pick up on the energy kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we use different words in the business context. And I just just last time in a workshop we had this conversation about when conversations are productive and when not. And they really talked about like, yeah, it's like Zen, you know, we need a Zen master in each conversation. And so they picked somebody who was just there to tell the other people, oh, I think we're not in Zen mode right now. and like in these kind of things, it manifests in really funny ways, you know, where I'm actually not talking about like, so you're feeling, you're thinking, and this is the first prince, second, third, but it automatically comes up
Yeah,
again and again. So
and
like,
that's where you see your understanding. Just when you understand something to be true without a shadow of a doubt, or when you see, you know, you without realizing it, when
yeah,
sort of explaining it, and because that's not an because you see that so clearly or whatever, that doesn't feel like it's an effort.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
living it is really useful, I think.
it's the only thing that's
Quite
happening, right?
useful, I have to say. When I feel it, it's like it's really cool. Like I feel for me, it's like a superpower. It's incredible. Like you can feel like people they just are attracted by this energy, you know, when I'm in it. And also just the opposite is also the case when you're in thinking and you're just lost. And it's really nice. Just stuff just flows. Yeah.
Just stuff just flows. So
Yeah.
what have you been up to, Kai? When I first remember sort of seeing what you were up to, you were back then a few years ago working with like big groups of people, like were they in universities or students or
Yeah, so
big group?
we're doing that still, which is also interesting. We did it in one master degree, kind of like one major, and now the feedback just spread out, and so we can do it now in like a large part of the university as well. So we're doing like with one university here in Luzerne, we're doing around 10 to 15 events each year.
Wow.
All their master students, which is quite
Oh,
fun since it is like literally 3 minutes from my door's
that's
step. So.
that's amazing. I just had a conversation today with um a lady who's interested in coming on the iHeart training, because I'm doing the
Yeah,
iHeart training in January, and we're doing a facilitators training here in Spain.
yeah,
And her dream is to go in. She's a very young lady and is not long out of university herself, a couple of years, and
yeah,
she wants to get, go back into the universities. And
yeah,
that iHeart curriculum is like 11 to 18-year-olds or up into early university.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
I said to her, I'd love that too. I'd love that too, right? Let's let's make sure that happens. But
Mm.
it's great to know that you're in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. So we're working with universities and like companies here in Switzerland as well. So actually the biggest part almost is probably companies where we do like trainings and it's always like from different topics, from leadership to communication, whatever. But so many times it comes back to this,
Right.
And so this gives me the base for everything, which is very nice. Yeah.
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 How wonderful. So all is well.
Yeah.
And that message of seeing that um all of us are somewhere between relaxation and anxiety. You know, I saw something today. I was with a client and I was talking about levels of consciousness or blah blah, and I was talking about how when we're in that really nice place, we were talking about innate health and stuff, and we were using
Yeah.
the metaphor of the sun and the cloud, and we were talking about when you're in that really nice place, what I would call all the expressions of love. So joy and peace and serenity and gratitude and all the cool stuff, right? The connection and all that stuff that we'd label positive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because that is our baseline, because that is who we are at our true essence, because that is who we are at our core, it it's in we're just in unison, right? We're in unity, we're in that place where it just feels right. And then because when we sort of drop into low level thinking and we're coming more from that fear or shame or blame or insecurity, when we're in that
Mm-hmm.
kind of a place, it there's this it just it doesn't it's not matching. Our true essence is not matching with this other thing, this
Mm-hmm.
other negativity. So that's why it's so obvious to us when we're not in a good place. It's more obvious than when we're in a good place, because when we're in a good place we don't notice that. We're just in a good place and we're
Yeah.
getting on with stuff.
Yeah.
We notice because, and that's the gift of it. The gift of it is like that. Oh, there's something wrong. Oh, there's something off. That there's something. And most of the day, actually, we're probably all right.
Yeah. We're just not thinking about it then.
Yeah,
Yeah. Which is nice. Yeah.
yeah. And so it is so like it's a gift for us if we see it like a wake up call or a little alarm clock or a little. It lets us know there's something off piece. It lets us know if we see the gift in that. I think, and like you say, I don't think that there's anybody who can just have this understanding that it doesn't help.
Mm.
To catch what where they're going before they take themselves down the rabbit hole, before they take themselves down the and then it's like come all the way. We catch ourselves like, yeah, we kind
Yeah.
of before we dance. Like you said you dance, right?
Yeah.
Like you dance and you're all right and you're a bit you're up and down. But yeah, something so nice that it's all right. It's all right, but it doesn't serve any human being to be low for too long. We weren't designed for that, I don't think.
Mm.
It doesn't serve us well. And seeing that, I guess you see it in business. I work more in the recovery field at the moment, and seeing that's when we get ourselves in trouble. That's when we make bad decisions. That's when we reach out for stuff. That's when we send the email we shouldn't have sent, or
Yeah. And people understand it so easily as well on like a certain level. I really like that. That it's sorry, it's the bells, church bells ringing.
oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And also like oftentimes I've like my head tells me like you cannot say this to people. It's too simple. It's not fancy enough.
Right.
Yeah, it's not intellectual enough. And then you actually have a conversation about it, and it just this nice feeling comes in, and it's okay. And people, I've never, like, I've had 1,000 thoughts that it's not going to go well, and I haven't had probably a single time where it didn't go well, actually. And that's interesting. It's interesting to see how imprecise my intellect is about stuff that is happening in the future.
Stop listening to it.
Yeah, it's really not so useful.
But you look great, and I love your hair, and you look funky and groovy, and you know, I'm so happy to see. I'm so happy that we were able to come on here together and just catch up, and you tell me a little bit more about you know, what's been going on in your world.
It was a pleasure.
Absolute
Thank you very
pleasure.
much.
Kai, I will see you somewhere around, somewhere soon, I'm sure, I hope. And keep smiling and hanging out in that state of relaxation.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Lots of love. Lots of love to
Bye.
everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you.